Alrighty guys, and welcome back to Star Wars Reviews. Today I'm reviewing Obi-Wan issue 5, which was subtitled Ben, which was written by Christopher Cantwell with art by Adriana Mello, and was released on September 14th, 2022, which was a solid final issue. Honestly, probably maybe my least favorite of the series so far, which I've definitely enjoyed this series a lot more than I was expecting to. But this issue is more of a, I guess, present day story, because the first four had a framing story of a old Obi-Wan writing stories in his journal on Tatooine while a sandstorm is coming, and so those issues kind of showed him reminiscing on an older story, something happened to him in the past, and so pretty much that was the issues. And this one is the storm passes, and so the issue is set on Tatooine with old Obi-Wan, so a kind of present day story for this series. But the story is that he's heading out to get some parts from the Jawas to repair some of his equipment which broke during the storm. But we also see this stormtrooper, I think their captain, I forget, their stormtrooper name was JM909. We see him talking with his commanding officer about some rations the Tuskens stole, which that commanding officer tells him to take his squad and take out the Tuskens, which he's a little hesitant about that, knowing that if they do that, the other Tusken tribes will start to get more aggressive. But the commanding officer doesn't care and tells him to take his squad and take the Tuskens out, which he does that. And we see them try to ambush the Tuskens, but they figure out the Tuskens have planted a trap, and so the Tuskens take them all out, which we see that Obi-Wan has heard from afar, the battle going on, so he hides and waits it out, and eventually realizes the Tuskens won, so he goes to scavenge the wreckage of the battle where he finds the parts he needs. But he also finds that stormtrooper, JM909, still alive, so he takes him with him, back to his hut, which on the way back, JM909 wakes up and tries to want to run away, but falls down, and Obi-Wan, tells him he's not going to get far, which in this moment, JM909 notices Obi-Wan's lightsaber and whatnot, but he eventually passes out again, and eventually wakes up in Obi-Wan's hut, where Obi-Wan has bandaged him up and whatnot, and asks him how he's feeling, which JM909 kind of sees the lightsaber hanging on the little display on the wall, so he just plays along with Obi-Wan, which Obi-Wan asks him for his name, which he only gives JM909, which, Obi-Wan says, that's not a name, but Obi-Wan gives him, his fake name also, which is Ben. But JM909 then goes for the lightsaber and grabs it and ignites it, pointing it at Obi-Wan, which Obi-Wan is unbothered by it, telling him, to take it, saying that the desert can be unkind to ones without the proper tools. But JM909 disignites the saber and drops it, running away, taking Obi-Wan's EOP, which we see that trooper go back to his commanding officer, who chastises him for failing the mission, which JM909 heads back to his quarters, and he thinks about Ben and whatnot as he puts his helmet on, and he's seemingly demoted. But the issue ends with Obi-Wan's final thoughts for his journal, talking about how his time is coming to an end, and how at times he's felt alone, but he never truly was because of the Force, and that no one will ever be alone, even in their darkest hours, which the final shots are of Obi-Wan's cloak falling to the ground on the Death Star as Vader kind of steps on it. So yeah, this wasn't my favorite issue of the series, but I definitely really liked the final thoughts there from Obi-Wan, and then kind of leading into A New Hope and whatnot. And throughout this series, some of my favorite stuff was some of those inner thoughts of Obi-Wan or Ben writing in his journal, which like I said, I enjoyed it in this issue, but I just wasn't into the actual story as much with the stormtrooper and whatnot. I didn't mind it, but I just didn't like it as much as some of the stories from some of the other issues in this miniseries. but I still enjoyed it enough, and I enjoyed some of those the journal thoughts a lot in this issue also, just like I have in the previous 4. But this series I was kind of surprised by how much I actually ended up enjoying, and I kind of didn't expect myself to enjoy it as much as I have. So yeah, but my grade for this one for issue 5 is going to be a B. So yeah, but obviously that'll be it for this series. You can check out my reviews on the first 4 issues, but I really enjoyed it. Hopefully Cantwell writes more Star Wars comics in the future. But for now, that's gonna be it for this one. Like I said, you check out my reviews on the other issues, all my other comic reviews, and everything else I do. But I've been Stars, I'll catch you guys in the next one.
The fight is done. We lost.